URC season has started, folks, and Edinburgh and Leinster have kicked us off. I know Cardiff and Zebra were playing at the same time, but this is the game I watched and the only game that was broadcast here in NZ. Edinburgh against Leinster, and it's Leinster who get the away win at the Hive, 33 points to 31. We'll go through some of the key events and some stats and whatnot. But yeah, pretty good way to start the season. Didn't feel too much like a first round game. There was a little bit of drop ball, but I don't know that it was stupidly more than usual. Both sides, I think, will certainly take some positives. If you're an Edinburgh fan, it's hard to be too chuffed about losing at home. But the fact that you get a 4-try bonus point and a losing bonus point, it could be worse. And for Leinster, I think you'd be pretty happy to start the campaign with an away win. Some of the big names stood up. That fella Tector looks pretty good. And kicking game looked pretty efficient. Certainly they'll want to concede fewer penalties going forward. But yeah, pretty good way to start the campaign, I thought. I am jealous of you Edinburgh fans having the Hive Stadium, because I watch Super Rugby here at Eden Park, and if you Edinburgh fans go to Murrayfield, I'm sure you can feel me on this one, that when you're at the big stadium and there's only 10,000 people there, it doesn't feel that great. You know, the Blues get 10,000, 15,000, sometimes 20,000 if the Crusaders are in town, and it feels not great. There's not that much vibe. There's not that much atmosphere. Whereas the Hive, what is the capacity? Like 7,000, I think? It feels pretty good. I could feel it from the TV I'm watching here in NZ. So I'm pretty jealous. I think you guys have got a good thing going with the Hive. And the crowd were treated to some good action earlier, man. I mean, Edinburgh were under a lot of pressure at the start of the game. They lost a line out in their own 22, which was a little bit troubling. Their maul defense held was at least pleasing. But yeah, they didn't have a lot of territorial gain going. They did win the first scrum penalty of the game, which got the crowd into the game. And they opted for touch. They went through a bunch of short-range phases. They got themselves some advantage. And eventually it looked like they had gone over through Curry out wide, but it was denied for a forward pass. Didn't make a difference because Edinburgh got the tap, and then the phases go in 3 phases, I think it was, before Schoeman was able to burrow over. Crowd favourite, obviously, there in Edinburgh. 7 points to 0, Edinburgh. Happy days. What a way to start the game. But Leinster have got a knack of hitting straight back, and sure enough, they hit back. How many minutes is it? 11 minutes on the Schoeman try, 15 minutes on the O'Brien try. It's not long. Wide ball, the hands are great. And then when you see like rangy old James Ryan, what was he, like the third guy before the final pass for the try? Out kind of in the back line, the big man, but he's got the hands to kind of keep the moves going as well. Tommy O'Brien goes over for that try. 7 points to 5 with a missed conversion. But sadly for O'Brien, he gets subbed straight after. He injured himself in the process of scoring the try. So fingers crossed it's nothing too serious from him. Then we set the game. I don't want to say descend, but like it's first game of the season, so I don't think the knock-ons were egregious, but we did see a period where it got a little bit rusty, a few too many knock-ons and errors from both sides, but then it was Leinster's turn to win a penalty at scrum time, which led pretty much directly to the second score of the game, when Edinburgh had a pretty poor box kick. Didn't go very far from Ali Price, and Tector was able to just catch it, run it back at Edinburgh, wee dummy, and go over in a great bit of individual brilliance. So 12 points to 7, and Edinburgh at times, man, their exit play was lacking. They'll not be happy with the way they kicked the ball at times, whereas Leinster kicking game, I thought was pretty accurate in putting Edinburgh under a lot of territorial pressure. That being said, Leinster got punished themselves for making an error. This was for not using it at scrum time. The referee had called user. I don't know that it had used the 5 seconds, but referee calls user. I think they're kind of waiting for the scrum penalty to come, but it doesn't come. I guess because the scrum's kind of crabbing around to the side instead of necessarily going forwards, and that leads to a bit of Edinburgh possession with the free kick. They get some wide ball. Thompson with a wee kind of shimmy of his own, and Jamie Ritchie with the kind of spin pass out to Duan van der Merwe on the wing. 12 points apiece. Again, a missed conversion. Both sides missed them, but Edinburgh missed one more. But that's 12 points apiece. That's properly game on. Hive fans getting right back into it, like I say. The Leinster kicking game, though, really got Edinburgh into a lot of trouble. Like the scores at half-time, Still goes in 12 points apiece, but Leinster probably should have scored at the start of that second half. End of the first half. I mean, Hussein got charged down when he was trying to kick clear. Thompson got caught kind of in two minds as to whether to touch the ball down, wait for it to go over the goal line from a Leinster kick through. He gets caught and driven back over his own goal line, so it's a 5-metre scrum to Leinster. But man, did Edinburgh show some bottle to not give up any points before halftime. They made a lot of tackles before Jamie Ritchie eventually won the turnover. So, good defensive mindset from the Edinburgh boys to hang on there. So, or even at halftime. Stats-wise, like Leinster's had more possession, 54%, more territory, 66%. But like the turnovers won, 4-2 to Edinburgh. And you got the likes of Tector, he's had 35 metres. You got Watson, he's made 13 tackles. So, yeah, there's been some standouts in that first half for sure. Then my broadcaster, Television New Zealand, for some reason forgot to turn the game back on. Like they had their halftime analysis stuff going on, but then they just cut to like ads. And I could feel, man, these ads are going for ages. So they turned the game on at 44 minutes. So I missed the Cherry try. I assume it was a maul, but you'll have to tell me because I haven't seen the highlights yet. But how else does Dave Cherry get a try? Anyway, Edinburgh get themselves a try. So I tune in and the scoreline has changed. But then Leinster apparently just keep this hit straight back thing going because Lama is able to get one in return. Conan with a big carry. He's a man kind of possessed in this game, to be fair. And then Tector, God, I mentioned his name a lot. Draw, pop the ball, and then Prendergast with the final ball to Lama, 21 points to 17. And then good to see Slimani come on in Leinster colours. One of their new acquisitions. And Ken Healy apparently equaled Devon Toner's Leinster record for appearances. So that's a massive achievement for that big man. I think they said he debuted in, what did they say, 2007 or something? Gosh, what was I doing back then? What were you doing back then? That's a long time. I must have not been long graduated from university. That is crazy. But the big man is still going. And then, Leinster's scrum kind of sets them up for a try. They get scrum ball into the back line. And then Jamison Gibson Park. How the heck does he get through? He's had a haircut. A lot of the guys have had haircuts. And I wouldn't normally mention the haircuts. But Jamison Gibson Park's been hanging on to not a lot of hair for a while. And there's been calls for him to shave it. Like most people in rugby comments don't tend to mention players' hair because there's better things to talk about. But I feel like he's just buzzed it. And I think he's better for it. And maybe that helped him get a bit of that extra aerodynamics going on. But he busted some tackles. Too many missed tackles from Edinburgh. You'll be frustrated with that try. Jamison Gibson Park just goes through like 3 defenders. He goes through Price. He goes through Duan van der Merwe. It's not right, but he does it, man. So it's a hell of a try. Bonus point try. 26-19. Then the ref gets caught in the action. And that is hilarious. Andrea Piatti, the look of terror in his eyes. It's like a deer about to be, or in New Zealand it'd be a possum, in the headlights about to be hit by a big truck coming their way. Yeah, he got clattered. Not too badly, but there's the look on his face as he was trying to work out how the hell to get out of the way. The action was absolutely hilarious. But that moment is maybe kind of costly for Edinburgh because him getting caught in the action leads to a scrum. The scrum leads to a penalty. That penalty means Leinster's able to kick it deep down into Edinburgh territory, pin the Edinburgh boys back, and it leads to eventually a line-out opportunity for Leinster, which they're able to maul over, which Conan is able to grab. So 33 points to 19. Pretty much looking like game over at that point. It's a long way back. But Edinburgh did give it a good crack. I mean, they had a chance with a 5-metre line-out, which they failed to catch, so it's another missed line-out from them. That was disappointing, but then Duan van der Merwe was able to get his second as Edinburgh kept the pressure on. Wide ball from right side of the field all the way left, one wing to the other. Great hands. That's a bonus point try for Edinburgh. Missed conversion, so not quite within a score. 33 points to 24. Edinburgh chased the game. They opt for a drop goal at one point. It gets charged. They opt for a penalty shot, long range one, after Ross Byrne gets yellow carded for taking out Darcy Graham in the air. Healy opts for a long shot. It's got long distance and it's got a bit of angle. It's a tough kick and it doesn't get anywhere near close. Maybe in hindsight that's a wrong option. You go for the try first and then try to get the penalty or get 2 tries. But Yeah, they still did manage to get that try. Leinster will not be happy. They I don't want to say gifted it to them, but delay of game at the line-out means they get free kicked as the clock's in the red. Edinburgh get one last chance. Velicott, nice line break. And Matt Scott's able to finish it with a great support line. So with the conversion, finishes a 2-point game, 33-31. But Leinster were never going to lose that because of their lead at the end. But they'll not be happy to concede that last try. But hey, man, Edinburgh, for you guys, 2 points. Certainly better than 1. Possession finishes 52-48 to Leinster. Territory 61-39 to Leinster. The Edinburgh boys had to make a lot more tackles, 152 to 113, but they won a lot of turnovers, 8-2. That's certainly an area of strength, and Leinster will not be happy with how many times they were pinged at the breakdown. 11 penalties conceded to Edinburgh's 6, so that is an area, you want to keep it below 10 if you can. Defenders beaten was 12-12, clean breaks 5-5, so a lot of the areas kind of pretty even. Duane van der Merwe had a couple of clean breaks, couple of the tries. Tector had a couple of clean breaks. He looked the business as well. Gibson Park gets man of the match. 3 defenders beaten from him, 47 metres. Not a bad effort from the wee man with the new haircut. Thompson beats a couple of defenders. Darcy Graham had 49 metres. James Ryan had 17 tackles, kind of unsurprising from the big workhorse man. Hamish Watson, 20 from him. But, yeah, opening round of the URC action. Back in action, and I'm a happy man for it. Good way to start my Saturday. Leinster are home to the Dragons in round 2, and Edinburgh get on a plane, heading to South Africa to take on the Bulls. Bulls haven't been in action in round 1, though, so they may have the jump on them, despite the fact they're away from home, because the Bulls will be playing their first game. But, yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and you want some more URC, because I'll be covering it throughout the season. But, yeah, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.